Good morning, everybody. It is a wonderful March 2nd. This is something that I wanted to do since we've been doing this channel for about a month and a half now. I didn't really get to do this in January. I kind of want to just go over my top 15 songs of each month when we get to it. And so I've gone through, this was a great month for music for me, specifically in the type of music that I listen to. We had a West Side Gun album. We had a Dave East Ransom album. We had a Boldy James album. We had the Larry June and Alchemist and 2 Chainz album. So we had a lot of good albums to pick songs from. And these are my top 15 songs of February. So sometimes, if, for example, in March, if March isn't as great of a month, maybe the top 15 songs, like, songs 7 through 15 are like, yeah, these are cool songs. They're nice. But maybe I don't love them. This month, it was hard for me to choose 15 songs. Like the 15th song is, it's the one we see right here. That's gonna be number 15. Like, I love this song. So there was 15 excellent songs here, and we're kind of just gonna go through. I'm gonna give you my list, play a little snippet of each one, kind of look at the, just like a little thing of the lyrics here. I annotated this, by the way. If you go on the Genius website, I've started annotating some more things, just waiting for them to get reviewed. So that's that. So let's go through it, and at the end, I'll kind of tell you which album kind of took the most. I will say this list, out of the top 15, 13 of the songs are going to be by 3 albums that came out, and I'm assuming you'll know which 3 albums those are because I reacted to those 3 albums. And there's no Drake on here, by the way. If that came out in February, right? There's no Drake. No Drake at all. And no, I did not forget about singles either. So just keep that in mind. So number 15 is going to be Gumbo Yaya. So the reason I like this song so much, and it is one of the songs on this list from West Side Gun's 12 album, is that it's kind of Brother Tom Sos. It's kind of like his come out party. So to say, and that's what I put here in this annotation. It's introduction to West Side Gun's newly signed label, and it's kind of describing the impact on him and his life and his family. That's kind of what we get in this. How he does some cool Colorado lines and stuff. Is telling his family not to worry about things and all that, and perfect timing, faith, patience, all that. It's pretty cool. I don't care for the outro. And West Side Gun's impact on us was pretty cool as well. He's got the wrestling lines in here. It's just the way that this sounds. We listen part of it. To me, consider this a courtesy. I'm catching bodies purposely. 25 a murder spree. It's very upbeat and soulful. It's cool. On 3 letters, call it Yaya, look like curds and cheese. And he has this little whistle thing that he does every time too. So I really like that. So Gumbo Yaya is going to be my number 14 on the year. And then we're gonna go to the next one, number 14. I should really cut my videos, but I don't. It's going to be Whale Fishing by Boldy James. So this is just a demo here. Whale Fishing by Demo James. I really like this track from Boldy. It's kind of really the only track on here besides maybe Global Telling, which did not make my list, right? Because if I think Whale Fishing is my favorite off this album, then Global Telling did not make it. This one also just came out literally 3 days ago. So it's kind of a situation of maybe there just wasn't enough time for me to really enjoy and get into these songs. I think that's probably a big part of it. But I really enjoyed just the beat of Whale Fishing and how Boldy flowed on it. I'll play part of it here. It's very Alchemist-like. It's very Boldy-like.
Is watching whale fish, bottle full of syrup. I'm in Hell's Kitchen, press shit.
There's not a ton of lyrical content in here that I really connect with and stuff, but I think it's mostly just due to how how clean and smooth the song is. And I think that's the important part of this. It's really what I enjoy the most out of Boldy James. It's not, I mean, yeah, sure, Penalty of Leadership had a lot of great lyrical content, but a song like Fish Grease, this is what, it kind of reminds me of Fish Grease a little bit, and it's just funny because it's got like whale fishing, Fish Grease, kind of, but it's that kind of Boldy track that I really like, and it's what I really liked in this one too. So I personally, this could be higher in the list if there was more time for me to digest it. But for now, it's going to be just number 14. This will bring us into number 13, which is going to be just right back to where we were before, which is going to be on the 12 album. It's another Brother Tom Sos. This is the track I prefer if I had to pick one from the two that he did on here. And I think it's mostly because of the production. There is all the crushed drums and such, as we'll hear. It's the crushed drums in this.
Niggas, my sons, temper tantrums, they kicking and screaming. Marvin Gaye, sing your hand on the drum.
And then of course the chorus.
Head to toe, nowhere near clocking out. If you think a nigga finished, it's only if you want.
It's the chorus. The whole, you know, pinch me, I'm dreaming. It's pretty cool, and it's so chill of a track. And then of course Westside did his thing. He gave us a great 12. But this is mostly a Brother Tom Sos song. And this is my first introduction to him. He was on Still Prime. I honestly don't remember his song. So, especially now that I've reacted to this and all that. And it seems like people enjoyed this too, looking at the streams and stuff. It's some of the higher stream songs. A lot of people did like what he provided. And I really enjoyed it. It's my number 13 of February. Then we're going to go into our number 12, if it's going to pop up, Vert. So if you notice, Westside Gunn is kind of dominating this like bottom part of the top 15 so far. And there's still plenty of other Westside Gunn songs that are in my top 15. As you'll see. What do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be the Westside Gunn album, the Larry June album, or the Davies and Ransom album that's going to have like the higher score? Like which album's going to have more of the top tracks of February for me? But this is then number 12, Vert. This one's just like, it's a long track. I just love like the guitar from Derringer here, and it's not like, it's very dark and such. Obviously, you haven't heard this song. Like, I like what Knack did here. Obviously, people are talking about, have you ever parallel parked to Bugatti? That's what Westside says. And of course, the Stove guy, oh, the plug missed you, Stove missed you, somewhere in here.
If you ain't cooked it forever, I know you rusty. I'm like, I've been had my.
This is also where he says that he took a brick or sold a brick at Epcot and stuff. So like, there's a lot of like great one-liners in this song, and I do really enjoy Vert a lot. That's why it's my 12th best song of February. So Vert, number 12. Number 11 is going to be Adam Page. So once again, out of from top 15, 1 through 5, 6 through 10, 11 through 15, 4 of the bottom tracks of my top 15 have been Westside Gunn. Of course, it does not mean these are bad tracks at all. Like I said, it's hard to pick a top 15. I listened to maybe 100 tracks this month, so this is in the top 15% of my tracks. So Adam Page, I really enjoy this one. Of course, it's the most like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's got the most like drums. It's kind of the most like, it kind of sounds like a song. I don't know how to explain it. I think maybe the song structure is what I'm trying to say, but it's very gritty. Yeah. Make sure the money and the. And then the interpolation Stove Guys here, where he's like, no, say no more. This part.
Tell them broke niggas don't say my name no more. I done got crazy rich, I ain't saying no more.
It's not my favorite off of this album, as you'll might have noticed. There's still one track I haven't picked that I have liked that will be somewhere else in my top 15, or top 10 specifically, because we're on 11 now. But obviously the whole Adam Page thing here is cool too. It's just West Side and Stove on this one too. Plus you got the end with Adam Page, and like I said, I really love what Stove did. And then West Side's first verse was great. It was one of the only songs that West Side Gun actually started the song. All these other ones, it's other people that started the song. So that is going to be my number 11. Let's get into the top 10. And this is going to be our first introduction to the Larry June. And it's not going to show here, is it? There we go. It's going to be Life is Beautiful. The title track, not the album. The title track, number 10. So this is our first song from this album. Therefore, that means every song that I pick going forward in this album is a top 10 song of February. So, like I said, it was mostly the West Side Gun album that dominated the bottom of the top 15. And now you'll see this. Basically, the top 10 is going to be mostly between this album, some singles that came out, and the Dave East and Ransom album. So Life is Beautiful. I really like the Larry June chorus. Sacrifice, I'm gonna live my life like I wanna, cause you're beautiful. Like that part too. The part here where 2 Chainz is talking about his kids. That was cool as well. And then really just the general vibe of the track. They're just talking about their life.
Early morning, young man. So every single day I'm going hard as I can.
And this is the catchy part right here. This is my favorite part about Larry June when he does this. And like I said, I have this album. I have the Larry June one right there. The Great Escape. I enjoyed what he did in 2024, but this is definitely a comeback to life here. Life is Beautiful for the Larry June. So that is going. And is this a Larry June album? Is it a 2 Chainz album? Is it an Alchemist? Like it's all, but I consider this a mainly Larry June. Like, I mean, it's a collaboration album at the end of the day, but like I consider this in Larry June's discography more than 2 Chainz. Of course, it is 2 Chainz. I'd love to hear 2 Chainz more on this kind of production rather than what he normally does. This is my favorite 2 Chainz work, as you'll see as we go further on into this list. Then we're going to go back to the West Side Gun album. This is going to be my top track of this West Side Gun album. This is the last that I have. At number 9, it's going to be 55. This is the best I've heard West Side and Stove besides like Kitchen Lights and a couple others from back in the day. This is the best I've heard recently from these two in a track. It's my favorite off of the album, judged off of the streams. Outlander was a single. This is the most played. So I think a lot of people also say the same thing. This is my number 9. Stove God really starts off just, going in on this. This is a Stove God album or a song and such. We'll just play part of it here. And it's mostly this chorus that carries this song. It's great. I mean, it's my favorite song off of the album for sure. It's number 9, and that's going to be 55. All right, let's get into a new album. I hope it pops up here. It's going to give me the Malcolm X, isn't it? There we go. All right, By Any Means Necessary off of the Final Call. So this is our first of this album here, and my number 8. And I really like this one because it's Dave, Ransom, and Method Man, and the beat is phenomenal.
To the hearts of sinners, from start to finish, I shed my light on your again for them. It's meant for them. Disgusted.
Sinners, arm with arm and hammer to clean up rappers. I sold them that pipe. Won't stop. I see a stop sign or a red light.
So of course, I love this album in general. It's my album of the year currently so far. I like too how it's like Ransom would go, and I could and I would. Then Ransom ends his verse, and I could and I would. They all end their verse this way. Besides the ending of the track, I love how all three of them work together on this. Like I said, the beat by Second Self is phenomenal, and it's one of the few like Method Man like verses like that he's been doing recently that I enjoy, and they really all just flow off of each other. Not a single one of their verses are weak at all. Lyrical content is great as well. It's just by any means necessary kind of thing. So this album is so good. Literally, like, it's got a lot of Malcolm X tied into it. It's got a lot of lyrical, like, especially these last two tracks. Like, so, like, it's, why do these only have 44,000? Like, that's, like, sure, you know, J-Elect, cool. Mayhem, 22G's, cool. The Moss, cool. But, like, these are the songs, Audubon, like, Exotic, Fair, like, these are the lyrical songs that people need to hear. By any means necessary, this is kind of the more like radio. It's not radio at all, but it's kind of the more like, you know, you got Method Man in there. So, hey, this kind of get us in the door kind of thing. And I really enjoy this. The number 7 is actually going to be from this album. Cat's meowing. Exotic Prayer Rugs. So this song, when I did the reaction to the song, which you can watch, it's probably my favorite reaction that I have done so far on this channel. The Ransom verse really hit me when he's specifically talking about he used to have a friend and a neighbor, and he used to sell to the dad of the neighbor and like I say, hey, don't tell my son kind of thing. And it's like, oh, he's kind of like embarrassed by it or whatever. And then he goes into like talking about like his mom, how his like he finally made it for his mom, but now she has dementia and she can't remember. And he's like, it hurts when it's true. How you taking care of your mother longer than she did you? It's like this is very like this is the most like emotion I've heard from Ransom. And I was in there this recent Friday. They did like a they did a like a fan line call, and I got to hear that, and he answered a lot of questions and such as well, so that was cool. And then, you know, Dave, sure, he did his thing on this track, and this was mostly just everything from Ransom, like, so play it.
My best friend's father came and I shaved an ounce. Never charged him the same amount. All he used to say is, don't tell my son, too much shame and doubt. Come on, don't tell me that you know what pain's about. My mama used to pray I take the safest route. I finally did, then she got dementia. Can't remember, she'll never mention I made it.
Like, honestly, this is my verse of the year, like, just from Ransom so far. And, like, this verse is in my, like, head. It's great. So I might do some annotation to this as well. So we'll get into that at a different point. So that's going to be my number 7 is Exotic Prayer Rugs. Then number 6, we're getting close to top 5 here. We're going to go back to the Larry June album. It is Munyon Canyon. This is the start of this album. This is kind of like, this is the super chill track of this album.
Never had a job, never had a GED.
It's like the violin.
Every V12 you could think. 20 cameras on my crib when I go to sleep. Never had a bitch that.
Yeah. And then Slanted Eyes, like Philippine, like 2 Chainz. This is kind of like the start of course, the start of the album. This is kind of like, oh, this is what we're getting out of 2 Chainz in this, where it's just like a super chill.
Is you shitting me? I fuck them lashes off your eyes, bitch. We finna see. I buy a Cooper.
So like it perfect, like you wouldn't think it would fit, but it like perfectly fits. And this is, it's so good, and it's just so good as an intro as well. I really don't have much else to say on this album, just besides like when I play it, I'm in a zone. It's a super chill song, and it's one of the people's favorites off of this as well. And when you think Alchemist and Larry, you think of a track like this. And then it's just the fact that 2 Chainz was able to be on that level, or even potentially a better level. Because there were some tracks where I thought 2 Chainz was kind of the heightened part of the song, like Bad Choices, for example, or like Epiphany or Generation. So, and then some were more Larry focused, like Jan Prove, or maybe Life is Beautiful, for example, and maybe even this song. But yeah, like 2 Chainz did his thing, Larry did his thing, and it was a fantastic beat by The Alchemist. Of course, why wouldn't it be? It's number 6. Number 5. This was a single that came out, and I'm surprised it's not the first thing that pops up on here. And it's Clouds by J. Cole. And I believe this is the last single left from here. I like that he added Port Antonio.
You times 2. Now I'm bougie, I done outcool the fountain blue.
I don't know, he posted that as well. But Clouds, it's the beat, it's the hat. This part. To me, that's, as a producer, I do that to like a lot of my beats. I'll like end like with a rolling snare, or I'll do like some hats. I actually like made a song recently that had the hats at the final 4, and they kind of go up and down in volume and stuff. And that's where I love this track from a production wise. And it produced by DZL, Omen, and J. Cole. I could have just saw that here. Will this be part of the fall off? I guess it's probably a single. But of course, this is kind of just all about the great wordplay. That's why this song is in my top 5. And of course, the bass in your trunk, the bullet that missed Trump. Everybody likes that one. But it's just specifically just the flow.
I charter unseen territories in order to push it farther than you niggas had ever thought of. I caught a lot of murder charges, turn artists to martyrs. When I rock that turns to goddess, fiends turn to kings, dreams.
It's one of the best J. Cole verses he's already, and this came out last week. So no surprise that this is one of my top 5 songs. It could have honestly been higher, but I'm excited for this album for sure. There's too much to get into this. I should have did a reaction to this track, but I played it before I could react to it. Tectonic plates from the plates where text on they waste. Like, it's just so much. Like, there's so many. Look how many annotations there are. Like, there's so much in this track. It is insane. So that's my number 5. Down into my number 4 is going to be from this Ransom and Dave East album again. And it is going to be... We're just not going to... Alright. It is going to be Farewells. So this is the farewell track to the streets, basically. And this, while this is a great verse from Ransom, I think this is more of a Dave East kind of things here. Moms gave you birth, but the judge cut off her life. I think that's that's a fantastic line. It's one that a lot of people have mentioned and such. And I think the beat here, like, we'll just play it.
Out there, or you gon' walk the night. Farewell to the nightmares when I sleep. I seen the poltergeist. Cram my talk with Christ. I found the law. Can't do no pork, alright? Farewell to the bros I lost.
The violin, and then it goes up.
The smokers cough. To separate from rock, kinda like overthought. Switch the weed. Farewell to the...
Yeah, so, like, this is my number 4. It's not the highest on this album. I have one song that I like a little bit better, which you guys might have got from the reaction video. But this one, like I said, the final 2 of this track, they're just so good lyrically. And this is just one that's so good lyrically, but the beat is, it's pumpy. It hits you, so it's not just like a sad song. Like, you can listen to this while it has sad elements. You can still like listen to this and bump this with an AirPod or in the car. And that's what I really enjoy about this album. The lyrical content is so good, but it sounds great in the car still. And Prophecy, like I said, absolutely did his thing on the production. The music video for this one is great too if you haven't seen it. Yeah, I really love Dave East on this as well. Same with Ransom, but that's gonna be my number 4 track of 2024 February. Then we're gonna go back to Life is Beautiful for our number 3 track. So 3rd favorite track of February. Now listen, I know this didn't come out in February, but the album came out in February, so close enough. January 22. Just the beat, really, from Alchemist. And then, of course, 2 Chainz is very... Where all the good girls make bad choices. Like, that's very catchy. And, like, Larry did his thing, too. But, I mean, it's the beat.
And we had was spread with the ramen noodles. A young nigga going spared on the pharmaceutical. 12 come through and book him like Barnes and Nobles.
Ain't got no label on the fish, but it's all Dior. This the flow they been waiting on. I got an 80 on.
It's just so good. It is literally so good. But it is not my favorite off of this album just yet as we get into the top 2. But this one easily could end up being in like my top 20 songs of the year. This album should definitely be in my top 10 of the year. We'll see. I think it's number 2 right now, 2 or 3. It's either this one or Mac Miller, and then the Dave East one is album of the year so far. And this is one of the best tracks on this. So many good, funny lines from 2 Chainz as well. Me llamo Dos Gardines, baby, buenos noches. My name is 2 Chainz, good night kind of thing. I'm pretty sure that's what that means. But so, Oyster Perpetual, Face Match the Air Forces, Bars is Hard, like some dang oysters. Like, it's like, this is a classic song already for me. But it is not my favorite off of this, because that would be Jean Prouvé. This is my favorite off of this album. It's number 2, my number 2 song of February. And to me, this is classic Larry. This is up there in my like top 10 Larry songs that I've heard. And it's just, the beat kind of just is in your face as soon as it starts. Like, just listen. And then it's the chorus.
My focus on the top, so it's all I see. Ooh, I've been focused, got my mind.
You can't tell me this is not the best song on this album.
I done really got my mind right. I've been trying to shake the limelight.
And then the 2 Chainz, like, he starts it off before I get fellatio 2 verification codes. Forget about my ex, like, Mexico. One said 2 Chainz, the other said there he go. Like, and then the Mountain Dew line, as an avid Mountain Dew enjoyer, like, that was amazing. And then, just everything in this. Like, this is such a great 16 from 2 Chainz. It's one of the best on the album. Then you mix that with a beat that is just in your face, but chill at the same time. And then Larry with this, the best chorus, like, easily.
Bag full of blue honey.
The magnitude ain't got a non-profit to help with back to school. I keep the sticks in the trophy room.
My mind right.
Like, this is so good.
Ooh, I've been trying to shake.
And then if you guys are interested, they came out with a chopped and screwed version or whatever. Chopped, not screwed, whatever. I don't remember exactly what it was, but there's a new version, a slowed down version of this album too. And this one sounds good off of it. So it is my number 2 track of 2025. So that means what could be what could be the number? What could be the number 1? What could be the number 1 track of this? And I'm assuming you're already getting it by what I'm typing in here. It is Audubon Ballroom. That is my number 1 track of February for 2024. Why is it? It just doesn't like to say. There we go. Final call. Okay. This is my number 1 track. Produced by Made in Tokyo as well. This is my favorite. Just, it has so much ties to Malcolm X. It, like, get your hands out of my pocket. Like, screaming in that song multiple times, especially at the end, I think, too. Yeah, right here. And then the ending with the gunshots where Ransom's like, please, please. And then, like, that's that. The production is just like any other song that I have heard in a while. And, like, Dave East gets into it too. Like, let's play some of it. Like, You wouldn't think this is what it would be. Like this part too, the production, like,
A
ooh.
man who stands for nothing or fall for anything, you know? Final call. Life started at Omaha, son of Luis and Earl Little. Racism was rampant, don't panic, can't bring this world with you. Pops died at 6, I blame them white boys, wear hooded tops, what good.
But then this song specifically, like to me, like I said, Farewells is kind of like the Dave East track. This one's kind of the Ransom track in a way too, like.
The devil has no limit. Amnesty. I look to a celebrity to lift you up with integrity. Puppets without sincerity. You can
Then the
never
ending.
fathom enough of me. My brother, please. No.
Then it gets into the sample.
Die when the war is on. Trust me, you are blessed if you hear the cry when your daughter's born.
Like that
Shotguns
too.
and shell casings. Blood soaks in the wood of the floor. Would you do more if you finally knew that your hell's waiting? Or if
Like, you can't tell me this is not a fantastic track. Or, I mean, sure, maybe it might not be your #1 track of February, but it is my #1 track of February, and that's like this. Like I said, this album is album of the year for me so far. I currently have it as a 9.4. I have the Mac Miller album as an 8.8, the Larry June album as an 8.8, the West Side Gun album as an 8.0, and then the Boldy James one that just came out I have as a 7.2 right now. So that's what I said. February is a great month because 3 of my top 4 came from this month. So, yeah. If you guys have not listened fully to any of these tracks that I put on this today, make sure you do. They will change your life.